Hey, Ethan here, and in this episode we'll be looking at Batman Arkham City, but on all platforms this time. It's my favorite game of all time, and now it's time for some brief development history. Batman Arkham City was developed by Rocksteady Studios after they released Batman Arkham Asylum in 2009. Arkham City started development 9 months before Asylum was even released. During development, they used the Batman and Gotham design philosophy to give players the feel that they were Batman in his city. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill came back to play the roles of Batman and the Joker respectively, with Spaltini coming back to write part of the game's story. Batman Arkham City was then revealed in August 2010, and then released on October 18, 2011 for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and then the PC in November, and then the Mac in 2012. And also the Wii U Armored Edition being developed by WB Montreal, being released in 2012 as the launch title for the Wii U. There was also a collector's edition containing a Batman statue, collectible art book, the game's soundtrack, and the Dark Knight Returns costume and Iceberg Lounge challenge map. There was also the Game of the Year edition, which was released in May 2012, containing all the game's DLC. There was also way too many pre-order bonuses, but the best one was the Catwoman story pack, which gave Catwoman her own story missions, which would interject in certain parts of the story, but around launch was only accessible to new copies. This time though, we will be playing the Xbox 360 version of the Game of the Year edition again, because the PC version is very strange when recording at max settings using OBS, which also means I'll be also talking about the Catwoman sections when they pop up. But let's now start Batman Arkham City. Batman Arkham City takes place about a year after the events of Batman Arkham Asylum, and has you start out playing as Catwoman going to steal something from a safe which belonged to Two-Face. We then hear Bruce Wayne get interrogated by Hugo Strange. It then shows Bruce Wayne at a press conference to shut down the new Arkham City facility, which is a massive super prison built in the heart of Gotham City. Wayne then gets captured by the new Tiger Guards, which are a private military force that runs the prison. Bruce Wayne then wakes up in front of Hugo Strange and says that he knows that Batman and Bruce Wayne are one and the same, and that there's a plan called Protocol 10. Strange then leaves, causing Wayne to escape. Bruce is then thrown into the prison in handcuffs with reporter Jack Ryder. Ryder is then attacked and the Penguin shows up and knocks out Bruce Wayne. Bruce then wakes up with Penguin about to punch Wayne over what the Waynes did to the Cobblepots. He then counters Penguin's punch and breaks out of the handcuffs. He then contacts Alfred to tell him about the current situation and gets the Batsuit. Batman then makes his way to the old Wayne courthouse and finds out that Catwoman is being held over a tank of acid by Two-Face. Batman then intervenes and gets shot. Catwoman then escapes with Batman making Two-Face hang over the tank of acid. Batman then asks Catwoman about Protocol 10. She says that she has no idea, but tells Batman that Hugo Strange has not been around Gotham for a long time and has suddenly returned. A shot from a sniper rifle almost kills Catwoman, then Batman investigates where the shot came from and traces it back to an old church which Harley Quinn has taken hostages. Batman then clears the room and asks Aaron Cash from Arkham Asylum. Batman then heads to the top of the church and finds the sniper rifle from earlier. A video from Joker appears, and then the church tower explodes. Batman then tracks a radio signal to the old Sionis steel mill, which has been taken over by the Joker. He then jumps into the chimney and gets inside the steel mill and finds Dr. Stacey Baker. She then explains that the Titan, which Joker took at the end of Arkham Asylum, is slowly killing him. Batman then goes back and fights Mr. Hammer. He then finds out that the Joker has died but is then attacked by Joker and knocked out by Harley Quinn. It then switches back to Catwoman, with her thinking about how she wants to break into the Tiger Guard vault and thinks Poison Ivy will help her. She then goes back to her apartment to grab her gadgets. She then goes to see Poison Ivy, and at first, Ivy doesn't want to talk to her, but after taking out her guards, she then does and grabs Catwoman upside down. It then switches back to Batman, with him waking up in front of the Joker. Harley then goes to unmask Batman, but doesn't. Joker then reveals that he has poisoned Batman with his own blood, giving Batman the same illness as Joker. He then asks the Joker if he has heard about Protocol 10. In response, Joker says he has never heard of it, then pushes Batman out of a window. He then wakes up with a cell phone attached to him. Joker then gets on the phone and Batman asks if there is a cure. Joker then says that Mr. Freeze was making it, but has disappeared. Batman then tells Alfred about the current situation and tracks Mr. Freeze to the old GCPD building. While inside, realizes that the Penguin's crew has taken it over. Batman then interrogates a thug, and Penguin traps Batman inside the GCPD building. Batman then makes his way to the museum. Inside the museum, Batman's connection to the Batcomputer becomes unstable. He then realizes that there are 3 jammers jamming his signal. Batman then destroys them and comes back to the museum and finds an undercover cop and finds out that there are others. Batman then finds Penguin and stops a bunch of thugs and a Titan henchman. Oracle then contacts Batman and Alfred informs her of the situation. Batman then enters a room full of ice and rescues an undercover cop that was frozen. Batman then rescues 2 other cops, then finds Freeze and begs Batman to get him his suit back. Batman then threatens Freeze and complies with Batman and tells him that there's an override in his suit to stop the freeze gun. Batman then saves the other undercover cops and gets Freeze's suit override. He then confronts Penguin and finds out that Solomon Grundy was underneath the museum. Batman then fights Grundy with some planting explosive gel on the ground on these 3 areas, with it going on for 3 rounds. Batman then gives Penguin the Mr. Freeze and asks him about a cure. Freeze says it needs a special enzyme which will take decades to get. Batman then mentions Ra's al Ghul was one of the League of Assassins escaping from a trophy case, leaving a blood trail which Batman then follows. He then plants a tracker on one of the assassins, and then Robin shows up. Batman then gives the infected blood to Robin and says that he doesn't need Robin in Arkham City. He then follows the assassin and finds that another doctor has been held hostage. He then rescues her and talks to her and goes through another door and gets on his knees and starts spitting blood. He then finds the entrance to Wonder City and scans these robots called Guardians to find the secret entrance, which he then goes through a grate and sees visions of his parents. Batman then finds Talia al Ghul, a previous love interest of his, and says that he wants to become an assassin. He then drinks the blood of the demon and takes the demon trials, which consist of Batman gliding onto platforms and taking out these clay-like ninjas. Then after that, he finds a very old-looking Ra's al Ghul, and Ra's then restores himself back to health. Batman then fights Ra's, with him taking out those ninjas, doing attacks by using the remote electrical charge and countering a large attack, and does that twice. Ra's then tries to kill Talia, but then Batman saves her. Batman then gets the blood sample and tells Ra's to stop what he is doing and says he'll be back if he doesn't. Batman then contacts Oracle and tells her what happened and makes his way towards the surface and finds out that Quin Sharp, the former warden of Arkham Asylum and now mayor of Gotham City, has been captured and sent into Arkham City. Batman then interrogates him and Sharp says that Hugo Strange has powerful friends. Oracle then forces Batman to go back to Mr. Freeze, which he then does. Back at the GCPD, Batman gives Freeze the blood sample and makes a cure, one for Batman and one for Joker. Freeze then gets mad about his wife Nora and breaks one of the cure bottles, which causes Batman to fight him. Batman then battles Freeze by having the player use as many of Batman's tactics as possible to stop him, which can only be used once. A lot of people consider this to be one of the best boss fights in video game history. Batman then sees a fake Joker, and Batman and Freeze realize that Harley Quinn took the cure. In return, Freeze gives Batman a new gadget. Batman then walks out of the GCPD building and sees a helicopter get shot down by Joker, with reporter Vicky Vale inside. Vale is then surrounded by snipers, which Batman then takes out and doesn't tell Vale what's going on. Batman then heads to the steel mill again and hears thugs talking about the Joker being cured and that Protocol 10 is about to begin, with the city council and Commissioner Gordon being very pissed off. Batman then finds Harley, but eventually finds the Joker and starts to fight him, but chickens out and causes the Joker's goons to fight him. Rubble then falls on Batman, which Joker then goes to kill him, but Talia shows up and tells the Joker that she can give him eternal life. Joker believes Talia after Batman tells her not to tell Joker. Then Batman is knocked out. It then switches back to Catwoman, with her being in the same spot from last time. She then strikes a deal with Poison Ivy to infiltrate the vault if Catwoman gets her plan. Catwoman then goes into the vault and finds out that she needs 3 keycards. She then grabs the keycards, which alerts the other Tiger guards, but then takes them out. She then smashes Ivy's plan and grabs what she came for, but is then ambushed by Tiger guards. She then sees on the monitor that Batman is down and makes the tough decision to drop what she came for and save him instead, which she then does. Protocol 10 is then fully activated, with Batman contacting Alfred and says that Batman needs to save all of Gotham instead of just Talia. He then proceeds to go after Hugo Strange by finding the key to the door by hanging onto several Tiger helicopters. Batman then reaches the top of Wonder Tower and confronts Hugo Strange and shuts down Protocol 10. Strange then talks about being Batman's successor, but is then stabbed by Ra's al Ghul, revealing that Ra's was the mastermind behind Arkham City all along. Strange in his final moments activates Protocol 11, but Batman jumps out of Wonder Tower before it explodes, with Ra's then stabbing himself, which he then gets impaled. Once Batman lands, gets a message from Joker about Talia going to get killed. Batman then goes to the Monarch Theater and watches Talia kill the Joker. She then gives Batman the cure, but another Joker from far away kills her. It is then revealed that there are two Jokers, one sick and another healthy one. The healthy one being Clayface. Batman then battles Clayface by dodging his attacks, throwing freeze blasts at him and chopping him up with Talia's sword. After Clayface has been defeated, the Joker tries to gain immortality but is stopped by Batman. The latter's pit explodes and shows Batman and Joker waking up, which the Joker then stabs Batman in the shoulder. Batman then has a conversation with Joker saying that after everything the Joker has done, he would have saved him. The Joker then starts laughing and then dies with a smile on his face. Batman then comes out of Arkham City with the Joker's body and places it on a police car, with Commissioner Gordon asking what happened, but Batman leaves without a word. It then switches back to Catwoman going back to her apartment. She then goes in, but the window explodes, knocking her out. She then wakes up with Two-Face thugs surrounding her and learns that Two-Face has taken her things to the museum and proceeds to go there. She then knocks out Two-Face and talks to Batman one last time. Arkham City has 12 side missions, which are unlocked at certain parts of the main story. Watcher in the Wings has you follow a mysterious character around certain parts of the map as he leaves symbols. Once you track him down, it is revealed that the character's name is Azrael and says that dark days are coming, which Batman shrugs off. Shot in the Dark has you investigate killings of political prisoners around Arkham City. It is then revealed that Deadshot is behind it. Batman then discovers that Deadshot has made a mistake in covering his tracks. He then finds a PDA containing a list of who Deadshot wants to kill, and finds out that Jack Ryder, Bruce Wayne, and Batman are going to get killed. Batman then saves Jack Ryder and takes down Deadshot by jumping out of a grate. The Tea Party has you investigate a cure dropped by the Batwing. Batman takes the cure and is then knocked out, but then wakes up in front of the Mad Hatter. He is then transported into his Wonderland and eventually knocks him out. The Enigma Conundrum, which has you solve riddles and puzzles to collect over 400 Riddler trophies to save hostages taken by Riddler from the church. You then find Riddler and force him to walk. Fragile Alliance has Batman work with Bane to destroy 6 time containers. Once he does that, comes back to Bane and are both ambushed. Bane then reveals that he has saved the time containers instead of destroying them, and tries to kill Batman, but Batman traps him inside of a cell. The Identity Thief has you investigate 3 killings in Arkham City, with the victims' faces being taken off. Batman then traces the killings back to Thomas Elliot, an old friend of Bruce Wayne, and wants to get revenge on Bruce by making himself look like him, and then leaves. Heart of Ice has you investigate a shipping unit with Mr. Freeze's wife, Nora Freeze, inside. Batman then takes out thugs guarding her and goes back to Freeze to tell him that she is safe. Cold Call Killer has you pick up phones ringing around Arkham City in a certain time limit. It is then revealed to be the serial killer of Victor Zsasz. You then trace the phone call and eventually take Zsasz down. AR Training has you complete 4 gliding challenges to unlock the grapnel boost so you can grapple faster. Remote Hideaway has you get an upgrade for the Disruptor from the undercover cops at the Iceberg Lounge. Hot and Cold has you get back a special version of the Freeze Splash from the Steel Mill. Acts of Violence has you going around the map taking out prisoners or thugs that are making political prisoners scream. And that is all of Arkham City's side missions. There is also the Harley Quinn's Revenge story DLC released in May 2012. It takes place 2 weeks after the main game, with Robin investigating why Batman has been missing for 2 days. It then flashed back to Batman and has you play the situation up until that point. Robin eventually finds Batman and has Batman disarm bombs. It then ends with Batman saving Harley. She then tries to stab Batman, but is then rescued by Robin. Batman then leaves and Robin talks to Commissioner Gordon. And that is all of Batman Arkham City's story. It's now time for me to talk about everything else. Let's start with gameplay. Gameplay-wise, it's the same as Arkham Asylum, with the free-flow combat system flowing more natural and overall feeling more responsive. There are new gadgets such as the remote electrical charge, disruptor, and freeze blast with the cluster grenade variant. All the other gadgets from Arkham Asylum return and act the same besides the cryptographic sequencer, which has you now crack codes and search for radio frequency. Predator feels the same but has detective mode look different, with enemies with guns being outlined in orange instead of red in Arkham Asylum. Batman can dive bomb to get extra air and go further distances while gliding. There are new enemy types, ones with riot shields, body armor, and in Predator have jammers to disrupt detective vision and thermal vision to see Batman on gargoyle. Wayne Tech has returned and has been redesigned visually but serves the same purpose, and also has separate upgrades for Catwoman. The map is 5 times bigger compared to Arkham Asylum, with Wonder Tower in the center and the other villains' hideouts consisting of the courthouse, museum, and steel mill. There are other places for smaller side missions. While in Arkham City, you can also find Arkham City stories, which are smaller stories that provide lore to this version of Gotham City, and also character bios, which are unlocked throughout the game and provide backstory and lore to the characters in the game. There's Calendar Man in the basement of the courthouse, which if you play the game on a certain day, gets special dialogue between Batman and Calendar Man, and also Catwoman as well. There is also the Scarecrow secret boat, which if you go inside, go first person and see cockroaches running on the walls, and if you zoom in, see a Joker raccoon get scared, and also secret messages on the cryptographic sequencer, which have been linked to Scarecrow, and also his mask from Arkham Asylum. You can also go to Crime Alley to pay your respects to the Waynes. Back at the main menu, we have the Riddlers Revenge, which are Arkham City's challenge maps. Challenge maps act just like how they did in Arkham Asylum, but added campaigns, which are a set of 3 randomized maps put together, and custom maps. The maps just consist of locations from the main story, but the ones that stand out are the Wayne Manor maps, the Batcave, Joker's Funland, this one on the train, and the Iceberg Lounge, which are all the DLC maps. Arkham City now allows you to play as Robin, Catwoman, and Nightwing along as Batman. They also have at least one alternative skin, with Batman having most of all. We have the animated series skin from BTAS for all of them, 1970s Batman, Year 1, The Dark Knight Returns, Earth 1, Batman Beyond, and the Sinestro Corps Batman. All of these skins for Batman can be used after being the main story in free roam. Robin and Nightwing can only be used in the challenge maps, but Catwoman can be used in free roam. Back at the main menu, we have statistics, which gives you insights to what's completed in the game. Next we have character trophies, which are high quality 3D models of characters in the game. Game options, just change the options, but on PC we have the benchmark option as well. After that is New Game Plus, which is the main story but allows you to play with any costume from the start and also gives you all gadgets from the start, and is also on the highest difficulty with different and harder enemy types. Next is Catwoman episodes, which is where you get to play all the Catwoman sections individually. Next to that is where you get to select to play the Harley Quin's Revenge story DLC. Synopsis is where you get to see all the pictures for the loading screens during the main story, and concept art is a collection of concept art from the game, and also the game's credits. Graphically, it looks pretty good still. It uses Unreal Engine 3 again and also has 3D support and runs at 720p at 30fps on Xbox 360 and PS3. The PS3 has the option for motion controls while gliding just like Arkham Asylum. The PC version uses a separate launcher just like Arkham Asylum to change the graphic settings, and it overall looks and runs the best and allows for 60fps gameplay and also NVIDIA PhysX support, and also has Xbox controller support just like Arkham Asylum. And that is Batman Arkham City, my favorite game of all time. In my opinion, I think it has aged quite well still, but remember to pay your respects in Crime Alley.